Hey, boys and girls. So, today we're going to talk about some more reading strategies as we move along with the week. Last time we talked about rereading aloud and in your head, and today we're going to talk about scooping into longer phrases. So not reading one word at a time, but scooping them together into longer phrases. And you can scoop up more words at a time by noticing punctuation when you're reading. So especially some might have commas this week. That can make a nice phrase. So between the beginning of a sentence and the first comma, you can read that bit as a scoop, and then the rest of a sentence you can read as another scoop. And then you can, any sentence, so from the beginning of a sentence to a period, that's always a nice scoop. So you don't need to scoop two sentences together. Just that one sentence can be a scoop, and then you can take a little breath. And then you can always check to make sure that your reading is sounding right. So if you're grouping words together that don't make sense, it might not sound right, and you can always go back and reread to make sure that it sounds right with those scoops. So I'll give an example of what that might look like in our book today. An egg is quiet. So here's one of the pages from our book today, and if you look in the first sentence on the left side here, it says, "It sits there," and then there's a comma. So I'm going to group "it sits there" into a scoop. It sits there under its mother's feathers. And then we have the period, 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 or the ellipsis. So I would pause right there. Let's listen if I didn't scoop the words, what it might sound like. It sits there under its mother's feathers. So without scooping the words, it's harder to figure out what is happening. It's harder to comprehend what's going on there. And it also doesn't sound as nice. Let's do the next chunk. So right here, I see a chunk at the bottom part of the left side on top of its father's feet. So that was a nice scoop. I said all those words together. And then we have buried beneath the sand. And then because there's a period right after sand, I stopped there and took a breath. And the words warm and cozy make their own sort of sentence. This book is a bit like a poem. So normally we wouldn't have a sentence with one word, but because this book is sort of poetic, they've just had the one word there. So I'd go warm, cozy. Here's another page where I would use punctuation to scoop my words into groups. There are oval eggs. When ladybugs hatch as larvae, and then there's a comma, so I'll pause there. When ladybugs hatch as larvae, their first meal is often the egg case they crawled out of. There are pointy eggs. Seabird eggs are pointy on one end. And I see a comma, so I'm going to pause. So if they're laid on rock ledges, and I see a comma, so I'll pause there. So if they're laid on rock ledges, they roll around in safe little circles, not off the cliff. So I'm going to read our story today, and I want you to listen for how I'm scooping those words into phrases as I read the book. An Egg is Quiet by Diana Aston, illustrated by Sylvia Long. An egg is quiet. It sits there under its mother's feathers, on top of its father's feet, buried beneath the sand, warm, cozy. An egg is colorful. An egg is shapely. There are round eggs. Sea turtles dig a hole in the sand with their flippers and lay up to 200 soft round eggs. Round eggs fit together nicely in tight spaces. There are oval eggs. When ladybugs hatch as larvae, their first meal is often on the egg case they crawled out of. There are pointy eggs. Seabird eggs are pointy at one end, so if they're laid on a rock, they roll around in safe little circles, not off the cliff. There are even tubular eggs. While most sharks give birth to live young, some sharks, like the lesser spoiled dogfish, begin life in a leathery egg case with tendrils. The tendrils anchor the eggs to seaweed so they won't be swept away by the ocean current. An egg is clever. The markings on some eggs help them blend in with their surroundings. This is called camouflage. Camouflage is an egg's way of hiding. An egg might be speckled to resemble the rocks around it, or it might be gray, the color of mud by a lake. An egg does not want to be eaten by a raccoon or a snake or a fox or an insect. Eggs come in different sizes. An ostrich egg can weigh as much as 8 pounds. It is so big and round, it takes 2 hands to hold one egg. Hummingbird eggs are the size of a jelly bean. It would take about 2,000 hummingbird eggs to equal the size of one ostrich egg. An egg is artistic. An egg is textured. There are hard eggs. Bird eggs are hard. And soft eggs. Reptile eggs often are soft and rubbery. And gooey eggs. Amphibian eggs are gooey. The goo keeps them from drying out. There are smooth eggs. Most bird eggs are smooth. And rough eggs. The eggs of cassowaries, emus, and cormorants are rough. An egg might even be fossilized. The remains of creatures that died millions of years ago may become rock hard or fossilized. Scientists have unearthed fossilized dinosaur eggs all around the world. Some are round and some are oblong. Some are as small as 1 inch across, and some are as large as 20 inches. Scientists believe all dinosaurs hatched from eggs. An egg is giving. An egg gives the little creature growing inside it everything it needs. The shell is its home. The yolk is its food. The egg white, or albumen, is its pillow. The shell is covered with teeny tiny holes which allow air to enter. A grasshopper embryo rests inside the egg until the weather is just right. An egg is quiet. Then, suddenly, an egg is noisy. Crunch, cheep, beep, cheep, beep, crunch. So as you're reading today, 2B, I'd like you to try to work on scooping those words into phrases to help make your reading fluent. Have fun reading, guys. Bye.